Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Happy Hour, a great, lovely BBC Radio 4 programme hosted by yours truly, Dina Heathcote. And today, for Happy Hour, we're going to be at Club Krakow with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, former Prime Minister and the Governor of Northern Ireland, MichaelMRothschild. Michael, it's great having you on today. How are you?
Absolutely fine, Dean. On the topic of happy hour, I'm currently enjoying a very nice gin and tonic.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be the first question we ask you today. Seeing as it's happy hour, we are requiring every single one of our guests to have some sort of alcoholic beverage while on here, because otherwise, what's the point?
What?
Got yourself a drink. Might I quickly ask? Um, I really like the fact that I'm being called somewhere else there. Thank you for uh, doing that, whoever that was. Continuing on then, Michael, sorry. So what
Well,
kind of
first,
gin
oh yeah,
have you got?
what kind of gin? Well, it is it's the pretty standard gin. It's Grayson's London Dry Gin, and the reason why I am drinking gin and tonic tonight is my good friend, the British Union, will understand that this marks 100 days since the great Instagram account, the gin and tonic one. It's been 100 days since they first posted their great scene of where Perkins is being yelled at for losing the tonic.
Yeah, in fact, speaking of that, actually, have you managed to acquire an ample supply of gin and tonic? Has that problem been resolved?
Yep, absolutely. I've got a great big bottle of gin, and I bought 3 bottles of tonic, 3 large bottles of tonic.
That is absolutely wonderful to hear. Well, this will be no surprise to regular viewers of anything that I host, but I have got myself here a can of Scrumpy Jack because why not? I hope that got picked up on the microphone. I don't know if that got picked up at all. I'm going to assume it didn't, and that I probably sound like a fool there. But that's what I'm having. But let's get on with this. Michael, we're just going to ask some general questions here about your time in the community, but we have some more fun activities planned later on in the broadcast. So don't you worry, you're not
Well,
going to be entirely
I
bored
really
talking
hope
about
it's
your
about
life.
Northern Ireland because I have heard some very disturbing stuff.
Well, you can tell us all about that when we get to our current affairs portion. Ooh, spooky. But let's talk about you
Okay.
for a minute. You've been in the community for many years. What was your first role in the community, if we can quickly ask about that?
I think this is probably when I was chairman of SLLP's Imperial Party.
Oh, that was your first ever role, chairman of the Imperial Party.
No, actually, no, I just remembered. I was chief whip when Zangoose was prime minister many years ago.
Oh, was that your first ever time as an MP, or was that a few
Yes,
terms
yes,
later?
it was.
You were
It was
chief
my
whip in
first
your
ever time.
first ever term.
Yes. Yeah.
Very nice. Were you a good chief whip, or were you the kind of chief whip to let half the parliamentary party be absent?
Well, we were in a minority government, I think, or actually no, I remember because one party got dissolved, and then all the party seats got redistributed, and then we became a majority by 1 seat. But we had pretty good attendance always, and I think it's pretty shocking how parliaments come down. I mean, I think you and we agree. Back in our days, we'd always have good attendance from our MPs when we were party leaders. But like I mean, Pirates for once they actually had good attendance, and then the rest of the parties it was a car crash, I guess. They've got 2 MPs who weren't even oafed up, and then they had 6 absences. So that's pretty much more than half of their parliamentary party that was missing. And then the Nationals, it looks like they were missing half. Unionists, only 3 MPs. Crikey.
We'll definitely talk a lot more about, I think, the current state of Parliament when we talk about current affairs later. I do have a
Sure.
few questions regarding your thoughts on like the current state of things, as much as that's like an overdone question to ask like any veteran in the community nowadays. But talking a bit more about what you've done in the community and so forth. So your first ever time in the community was spent with the Imperials. You then at some point joined the Conservatives. And that's kind of where you made most of your career, pretty much, with the Conservatives and then later the Unionists. You first
Yep.
became a party leader of the Conservatives, and your first election was March 2022. And I remember it because I was your opponent. That was your first ever
Yeah.
election. Do you remember it well?
Yeah, I do. I do remember it. We didn't win any seats, but we didn't lose any either. So I was pretty happy about that.
To be honest, yeah. Like respect where respect is given. There is a certain quality to being able to just stay on the same amount of seats, even when things are looking great campaign wise and whatnot. So fair enough result for you back then. But since then, you've obviously fought several more elections. Of course, in your capacity as like Unionist party leader in the last few years, and of course you were successful enough that you became prime minister. Um, Out of the how many times you did like 2 terms, didn't you? You did like the end of TBU's term, didn't you? You did like the final
I
two
did. I
weeks.
did the final. No, it was the final month of TV's term.
You did
Um,
the whole month. Oh yeah, it was like the
yeah,
start of was
yeah,
it the
and
start of
then yeah,
August that you did?
I can't remember, but it was that. And then we had another election, and we managed to form a government. But then the Social Democrats and the Nationals got their um, things together. So then I said, "Fuck it, let's call another election." 2 days after forming one, I actually remember Dom telling me that
Hmm.
it was a pretty ballsy move and that he respects it. So I was really happy about that. Unfortunately, Callum ended up taking over, and it was the worst time for the UK. So, and then I got in after Edward Leeton's government collapsed and all the corruption scandals came out. But that is the difference between Callum and I, is that he is sloppy when it comes to corruption, and I've committed it 10 times and I still haven't been caught.
I mean, honestly, fair enough there. I mean, getting a compliment from Sid or Dom, as we guess we'll call him, that's pretty good, honestly. Like that's not too bad, not too shabby. So I guess this kind of brings me on into the next bit of questions here. I guess again regarding a sort of history of the community. You've since left party politics, and you've immediately, well, I wouldn't say immediately, but you've now gone on into a very prestigious role, that being governor of Northern Ireland. There's not been too many governors in this community. We've had Jeff Maltby, we've had Dylan Ashford, um, there obviously Wayne, your predecessor, and now you. Um, yeah, do you think that you're sort of stepping into like some big shoes to fill there, and do you think you're able to fill it?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, I thought this was just going to be about just trying to get devolution up and running again. But then suddenly we have this whole Irish bullshit going on. So it's been quite a roller coaster so far.
I mean, speaking of that whole situation, I guess we'll slowly get into the current affairs portion here. You've already had a very eventful sort of start to your time in Northern Ireland. I mean, you've been First Minister before. You're familiar with the region. It's one of the big reasons that you got the position. But would you say that it's been fun so far, having to deal with basically a border crisis within your first few weeks?
It would have been fun, but since we know the intentions of the Irish, which is they're quite malicious intentions, at the moment it doesn't really seem like they care much about maintaining the community. I mean, one of the agreements was that we'd actually do stuff with the border and make the game active. But then obviously Epic Noah, who has a incredibly awful receding hairline, decides to throw that all away. And now we've got a toe suck, however you pronounce it. who's just sacked the Irish Chief of Defence Staff. And I mean, I'm sure you've read the resignation letter, Dean. In his resignation letter, he said
Mhm.
that he wanted peace, but it seems like their government disagrees.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of tension there, and you've been very vocal in basically calling the obviously now former Taoiseach all sorts of names. What's your favourite insult that you've said to him, other than many mispronunciations of Taoiseach?
Well, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I remember when I heard he resigned, I sent like this picture of like this stupid dinosaur saying bye to him, and he hasn't responded since. But I'm pretty sure he's gotten the message. But that's probably my best one. But there are
Well,
many
fair
things
enough.
we can call Epic Noah. There are many things we can call him, but nothing will change the fact that he's got a terrible receding hairline, and his only peak in this community was being a Fiji MP. That is it.
I mean, that's not even in this community. That's technically in a different community. There, that's technically the Fiji community.
Uh, yep, and
um,
that's as far as he will ever get.
but technicalities aside, there, um, have you spoken at all to the new Taoiseach, that being Osint Whitaker? Have you had a chat with him at all? Has he approached you or the
He,
government at
he's
all?
approached he's approached me many times, but what I find really funny about this guy is that he's like the Irish Persian. He like came into my DMs one day. This was when Epic Noah was still the toe suck. He came into my DMs one day just spouting like some stupid quotes. Some like and even in his bio the other day, it was something to do with like patience. If you have patience, you get power or something. It was like the most stupid thing, most cringiest thing I've ever heard in my life. I think Persian, he wouldn't have done that because he actually seems to have better standards than whoever this guy that's running Ireland. Yeah, like he was just telling me like all this stuff about, oh look, there's going to be yeah, we want peace in Ireland, and then he just like sent something about the Irish Parliament or whatever is better than Westminster. But it was like Irish or Spanish or whatever the fuck it was, whatever language they speak. Um, and then so yeah, I ended up Google translating it. And then eventually he then messaged me later and said, "Can you stop killing me?" This was when in Middletown I just kept killing him. Then I sent him a mogging gif, and then he got a bit upset. But then he just messaged me yesterday saying there's going to be peace soon. But now he's formed a government. You know, he actually tried going to the prime minister instead, um, which didn't work. The prime minister wasn't actually happy. He thought it was a bit stupid. So yeah, we haven't actually been approached yet for peace or any kind of discussions.
Right, damn. Well, good to know that the BBC will likely be doing another border crisis broadcast inevitably when the border lights on fire again in the days to come.
Well,
Um,
let's see what
uh,
happens. I mean, we already had IDF. They rage quit for a couple of days because the government they brought in these Dutch mercs, and what like three of them were UK banned for some dodgy shit or whatever. So then when we banned them from Middletown, they were like, "Ah, we're not going to play Middletown anymore," because we banned them. And then yeah, but now
oh
they're back
dear.
on. They're back on, and then they sacked the CDS because he didn't actually want a border conflict. He wanted peace. So
Interesting. I mean, one thing I will say is that what is it me, all right, or is it always the like military simulator type people that always get banned for dodgy stuff? Like every single time without fail. Why is it always like the UN mercenary types that get done for God knows what kind of cyber crimes or
Dean,
heinous
Dean,
crap?
Dean, there has been worse things done by people in the UN Discord.
Oh yeah, of course, I
It's
know.
it's been absolutely atrocious. I mean, I remember once actually. This was like when you were doing the BIOT stuff. We just about managed to survive a vote in the UN to kick us out, and then sorry, and then one of the UN admins uh, somehow like did this stupid thing of framing one of the group staff members for some dodgy stuff. I won't say what it was because
Yeah, that was
it was pretty
the
serious.
situation with I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And then turns out, right, because it was complete bullshit anyways, but turns out that same guy that framed Ty was actually one himself. And then he got banned from the UN for it, so it was quite funny. For kids that don't know what we're talking about, this is like Jeffrey Epstein level stuff. Thanks.
Yeah, even with a private island, that was also part of the whole thing. Speaking of private islands, Michael, you're quite a regular on Ainsley Island, aren't you?
Why on earth would I go to an island owned by someone that gets wet for the MOJ? No thanks. The MOJ is my number one enemy.
Let's actually talk about that a little bit. You say that the MOJ is your number one enemy. We actually found out, well, a couple of weeks ago. We found this out, and this was something that we just discovered idly when we were searching through like MOJ Trello boards. We found out that you were actually disbarred, apparently at some point. Now, is this one of the big reasons why you hate the MOJ now, or what's going on
I've
there?
always hated the MOJ, Dean. I remember when this was like when Persian got made an NST, and then this fucking judge says, yeah, approves the injunction to allow Persian to keep running. I thought it was absolutely madness, you know. And then there's like all this stuff about the Bill of Rights as well, which these wet MOJ people use for any bloody reason they can. Like we had this case against Callum Cathcart and his gay cringe group of orcas, and I'm a bit gay myself, guys, so you can't ban me for saying that. And it was like, they were doing all this shenanigans, leaking official secrets, making the UK a complete embarrassment. Then we NST'd them, and then Alan Halverson, the biggest MOJ wet person there is, takes it to court,
Wow.
challenges it, and then we try to do this emergency legislation saying, no, they can't have access to classified information. Alan can, but Callum can't, because as soon as he gets access to it, he's going to spread it to his little rainbow squad. Anyways, that's exactly what happened. So Callum ended up getting access to the classified information within seconds. He leaks it. They find out who the undercover cop was. And then, yeah, we ended up losing our only operator in Orca. And then it ended up with Callum Cathcart getting banned. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, that's why I hate the MOJs, because they use the Bill of Rights for literally anything. Even if it means disadvantaging the whole group, they'll use it anyways because they get turned on by it.
I
Fuckers.
mean, hey, each their own. What I will say is, though, you speak a lot about the Rainbow Gang. There, I will say that speaking of rainbows, we do have a little game later, little mini game that you might be a very big fan of, but I won't elaborate too much there. I've given a little bit of a
Right.
hint, but
Oh, actually, speaking on my disbarment,
oh yeah,
I did request to be disbarred because what happened
oh yeah.
was that I did speak to the judge. This was like during my case against TBU. Um, so I'm just pouring myself another gin and tonic. This was my little joke of a case
I
with
mean, hey,
TBU.
drink up,
Although
man.
it was, even though it was a joke of a case, it was absolutely legitimate. Okay, I was slandered, my reputation was damaged, and my mother will never forgive the day when TBU said that she was provided a government facility chair, whatever. But yeah, I did speak to the judge pretty horribly. I did. That was a mistake of mine. But one of the reasons I got disbarred was because I was joking about the case outside of the case, which isn't the first time I had to face this stupid bar tribunal.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, I just, Exarchos DMs me saying it was happening. And I said, Exarchos, just fucking disbar me then. I've had enough. You guys can't take a joke. I don't want to be part of this stupid weights gang. So that's what happened.
Damn. That it really does seem like a sort of like trouble in paradise there between you and the MOJ. I mean, I remember, didn't you represent the Royal Automobile Club for? I don't know if it was one of your first cases, but I think you represented them in an employment tribunal-esque thing a while ago. It was
Yeah.
like a Employment Rights
Yeah, that
Act
is
sort
true.
of related case.
That
Yeah,
is
I
changed.
remember that because that's one of the first sort of trials I think I attended where I wasn't the one subject to it. Cough cough NST appeal cough cough.
Yep.
Um, Yeah, oh God. Honestly, I'm still reeling from not being able to just get that instantly appealed, but that's okay. I can forgive TBU. He was very reasonable. CZ Investor, on the other hand, absolutely not.
Well, that is why he will always be remembered as a two-day prime minister.
That is very true. In fact, speaking of prime ministers here, you've been one yourself. While we are talking about sort of government-related stuff or government departments, you've been prime minister before. What's the one biggest piece of advice that you'd give to like Harold right now, who's obviously a member of your family, and to like the other party leaders who might potentially be prime minister next term? You know, if they do well enough, what would be the best piece of advice that you'd give them for the role?
Well, I know there's actually, I think, yeah, there's two party leaders listening in on this, but I suppose they should use this advice pretty well as well. Uh, One of the things you'll find in politics, quite typically, and I'm sure, Dean, you're probably guilty of this yourself, which is
Hmm.
prime ministers are so lenient on their cabinet ministers. They just let them get away with all sorts of shenanigans.
Oh,
And that is,
absolutely.
TBU will be upset when I say this, but Persian, when I spoke to him, he was right about one thing, which is cabinet ministers, they get away with so much stuff, and it's because prime ministers don't typically have the courage to get rid of them. I remember when Drac, my chancellor, he refused to do the budget, and then I said, "Do the budget or you're sacked." And then I sacked him, and ended up replacing it with Pokemon. And then we got a budget actually on that very Saturday. It was just the day. It was the day before the budget, and he managed to get it up. So I didn't regret that. But that little bitch Fiaker was like, "Hey, why you sacked the chancellor? You can't do that." Anyways,
Oh
that
dear.
person would have attacked me anyways for not proposing a budget. And then when I do propose a budget by being absolutely ruthless, he's like, "Hey, you can't do that." Slag.
Well then, I can sense a lot of anger there. Um, so your best piece
It's
of
fine.
advice is basically don't be too lenient on cabinet ministers. Essentially, that's your
No,
biggest piece of advice.
that is one of my biggest pieces of advice because I treated cabinet ministers the same way as I did with my MPs. I've sacked 6 ministers from their seats because they wouldn't campaign as hard as the MPs would. Uh, so because I wanted to give the same opportunity to MPs as well, which is exactly why Forward UK was incredibly successful. A lot of
Mhm.
parties, they lock away people from participating in politics, and they usually prioritize seats for they're like best people who are so experienced, but actually didn't do any campaigning. Forward UK offered a complete alternative from other parties, which is if you campaign for Forward UK, if you spread the ideology, you will be given a seat. And if you've got policies to propose, doesn't matter what your experience is, you'll probably be made a minister. And that's what a lot of people likes about Forward UK. I did the same
Mhm.
thing with the unionists, but if I'm going to be honest, my party was fucking useless. Okay, there was
Oh
absolutely
dear.
nobody. The only person, only 2 people I'd actually give credit for is Nutella, who now goes by Nathan because he's part of the Rothschild family now, and Inky. Those 2 people were the only ones that were actually doing anything in my party. I remember I actually felt my hairline receding in that election against Persian because we were absolutely trying our best to make sure they didn't get in government. While most of my cabinet were absolutely taking the piss. And I remember I actually sacked half of them after that election because they didn't do enough. So I was really happy
I
about
mean
that.
that's something that you and Epic Noah have in common there. The receding hairline, it appears.
No, my hairline hasn't receded that much anymore. It was only by a couple millimeters, but I heard it in the night. That's how bad it was. But yeah, that is something parties need to watch out for. It's stop playing favoritism and give people
Mhm.
a chance because otherwise you just look like a bunch of elitists.
Fair enough. I noticed that you say that the only two unionists that put in a lot of effort there for the campaigning was Inky and Nathan. It's not looking too good for Harold there, is it?
No, in all fairness to Howard, he was busy with exams, but at least he got his policies done on time.
Are you casting shade on a particular someone there?
No, trust me, Dean. It's like managing a party is like managing 10 children. It's
Oh yeah, I
fucking
know.
stressful. It's absolutely stressful, especially when people aren't just don't want to do anything.
Mate,
But I'm
why,
really
why, why
happy.
do you think why do you think I resigned after just a month in the Social Democrats?
I was actually going to resign after my first full term as prime minister, but then Persian came along, and I thought, you know what, I can't let this go. I've got to accept the challenge. And I remember Persian, he actually DMs me, and he said that out of all the opponents that he's been against in all sorts of fucking dodgy nations he's done in, I was actually the only decent challenger he had. So I
I
was
mean,
pretty
that's
happy
big
about
words
that.
from that's big words from a doxer, to be fair. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of like getting a compliment from Hitler, isn't it? Like,
Well, I mean, I don't think we've actually anyone. I don't think in any election we've had anyone like Persian. The amount of gaslighting, manipulation,
mm,
and populism that was going on. I mean, I respected like what he was doing was that he actually friended every single person that joined Forwards UK. He actually spoke to them, and it's like that incredible amount of sweat is the reason why he actually managed to get that many seats with the amount of scandals that were going on. I mean, you had that stupid thing about Charles Denham, where he proposed like all these shit policies about I don't even know what it is. TBU will know. Operation Lightning Storm. It was so shit. And then there was
oh,
like
I know
all
the
these
one you're
like
talking about. Yes.
electoral scandals as well when the Electoral Commission published like all these electoral offences, and 90% of them was done by Forge UK people. And they actually won 16 seats, and it's because Persian connected with voters. So that is something that party leaders should actually
Hmm.
look on. There is
Yeah. In
other
fact,
advice I'll give
speaking.
them. There
Oh
is
yeah.
actually other advice I'd give them, but I won't give it to them
Mhm.
because I might want to make a return to politics under a new party called the Greg's Party. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing Persian did because it
I
works.
mean, just to quickly ruin your aspirations here, I was going to ask that, like, speaking of corruption and sort of like electoral fraud and whatever, I was going to ask, seeing as you're not in politics anymore, you're now in like, you represent the Crown, you're the governor of Northern Ireland. Can you make some admissions to corruption here at all, or have we not cleared that line yet?
Well, apparently, according to someone in CPS, I'm already under investigation. So let's see which corruption charge I'm being
Oh,
investigated for.
okay.
I
I
don't even
didn't
know.
think we were going to get that
It might
tonight.
just be rage bait. It might just be
Yeah,
rage bait.
probably.
Because it is someone from CPS, and they know how much I hate the MOJ. So let's see. Is there any
Do you think?
Met investigators or CPS people in this audience? Oh, I think
I
there's
mean,
Sean.
we saw how it went for like Starfish and Kralix, so
Let's see
you'll
what
probably be
happens.
fine.
Look, all I have to do, Dean, is say that this is the Irish getting back at me because I'm the governor of Northern Ireland. It's a political witch hunt, and that's it. It's over. They'll lose the case instantly.
So what you're gonna pull like a Trump here that it's like the Irish deep state are after you?
Exactly. And as soon as if this is true, if I'm being investigated for corruption, I'll just run for prime minister, get the attorney general to dismiss the charges, and then that's it. That's all I have to
Fair
do.
enough. Fair enough. Well, this does bring us onto the like second segment of tonight, which is not yet the game show element, but first of all, we just have to quickly say, Michael, you've obviously had a lot to drink, so have I. So what we need to do now is move on to the second portion, which is choosing a designated driver, because there's no way I'm driving you home, and we obviously need someone sober to come and join us this evening. So you now get a choice of picking your designated driver, aka
British Union. Oh,
bring
sorry.
on
Did I say that
today.
out loud? Did I say that out loud?
You did, yes, very.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's who I want. He might be drunk himself, actually, because we did say we were going to drink gin and tonic to celebrate this day.
I assume you said TBU there, right? Just because I didn't hear it very well.
Yes, him. Bring
All
him
right.
on.
Well, let's drag
I
on
would say,
TBU
bring.
as our
I would,
designated driver this evening. TBU, welcome.
I would say
hello.
actually. Hold on. I would say bring Bruce on, but A, he's not in here, and B, I think I'd really love to argue with him again, but this time being drunk.
Well, we're
Well,
not
Bruce
going to
isn't
bring
here
him on
and he's a
because
moron, so
he's
let's not.
honestly he's on a BBC blacklist going forward, so we're not bringing him
Really?
on. But we
You
got
should have
TBU
been
on.
there. You should have been there for the Middletown mayor debate. I made him rage quit. It was quite funny.
Moron.
Fair enough.
And
But yeah,
he wasn't even my opponent. He was actually the debate moderator. It was so fucking hilarious.
That's a good one. But yeah, TBU, it's good to have you on this evening. How are you?
Hello, Dean. I'm great. Thank you. I'm quite tired, but I'm here.
Oh, you haven't even sat a Lord session tonight, mate. Like, how are you tired?
Well, I've been up since like 7. I had an early flight this morning, so.
Oh, where were you off to, or are you
I-
flying internal?
I was in Krakow, actually. You won't believe this. I was actually in Krakow.
Oh,
I'm not even
you were
kidding
at
as
Club
well.
Krakow, where we are right now. Wow.
Yes. So
I
back.
did hire TBU to clear my name in this, because if you look at the nightclub that I went in Krakow, you wouldn't think it was
I didn't have a look at
a
it.
gay nightclub. You wouldn't think it was.
Well, I didn't go in fairness, so it might well be. I don't know.
Oh God, sorry.
Bloody hell, you need to control yourself.
I can barely hold my glass at this moment.
Well, you need to stay sober for the third element of tonight, which we'll get to very, very soon. But TBU, while we've got you here, you've obviously been acquainted with Michael for many, many years now.
Sadly, yeah.
Can you tell us about the first time that you met Michael and what you thought of him for the first time?
Oh, Christ. When was that? Oh man,
I think
I'm
this
not allowed to
was.
say bad words, am I?
I know. This was after the Imperial Party, and I joined when
Wait, I wasn't in the
Margaret.
Imperials.
No. Let me
I
finish.
wasn't
This
in.
is this. Just
Okay.
shh. This was when Margaret Monty became leader of the Tories, and that's when I joined. And I think that's probably when we met, because you were an MP as well.
That sounds about right. But then we kind of properly knew each other when you took on the leadership, because that's when I think we properly kind of started to get to know each
Hold on.
other.
When was that? Was that before She4 became unionist leader?
That was before, because remember, you were leader, then
okay.
James Aitchison took over, and we had to coup James Aitchison to get rid of him to do the merger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
I was in a
remember.
little car park when we did that. So yes, that's probably roughly when.
Yeah, I remember now.
Right, fair enough. And TBU, you've seen Michael throughout his entire career, right? Let's pretty much be honest here. You obviously resigned as Prime Minister during what was your final term in the position, and you obviously passed the reins on to Michael. Did you ever think that Michael would get to the position of Prime Minister? Did you think that was ever possible, or did you always look at him and think he's going absolutely fucking nowhere?
Well, when I first went around, I thought absolutely that second option. But no, obviously, yeah, I thought he did. He was always the intended successor. So when I first resigned back, oh God, for Ben Henley, we tried to get Michael in, but by that point, Ben had secured his power over the party. We couldn't do that. And when I resigned the second time, in the summer of 2023, I don't know why Michael didn't take over. I think he was busy. Because then Marcus took over. But frankly, that was a great decision, and that was the best leader I've ever worked with. Marcus
Stuyvesant.
The random hitman character who became Prime Minister in 7 days.
I mean, speaking of Marcus a little bit here, it does seem like you two and Marcus are basically the Top Gear trio equivalent. But it does seem, obviously, Marcus is no longer with us. He's not dead or anything, but he's definitely
Dean,
not
He's not
dead.
dead.
Dean, you should see the deep state group chat that we have. We won't name who's in it, but Marcus says some really banging stuff in there.
God, it's bang out of order. It's it's things you will never want to see again in your life. He just randomly in the middle of your day, you'll get a notification that Marcus has spoke for the first time in 2 weeks, and he's sent one of the worst comments or videos you've ever seen in your life.
I remember when what was it? It was like when ZC Investor made that graphic of Ben Henley was like the
No.
victory sign, but it had blood on his fingers, and Marcus was like talking. Marcus was already talking about some like bang out of order thing, probably something a bit racist, and he said. And like posted the graphic poster, and he said, "Bloody hell! I wonder what he's been up to."
My favorite one is Steve the King has cancer. Yes, I know, mate. I have a day off soon, it seems.
Oh,
No, I think my favorite one would have to be because I think this was when Marcus was asking what the age of consent was, and I said
no.
16. And then Marcus said, "Fuck yes, I could go a year younger." Oh my god! And Marcus is what 15 at the time.
No, I think he was like, I think he was 17, and he was saying he could go a year younger.
Oh, Marcus! No wonder
He's
he's
a
banned.
legend. We do love him, but he's not around enough.
I remember when, and it's pinned in the UK political discussion, so I can't get banned for saying it. But this was like when the revelations of Jam and his cousin was exposed. Then just what was it? Marcus just like said randomly, Jam's big. I can't say it.
Let's not read it out loud.
I'll try and censor it. He said Jam's big bleep going into his sister, and then it got auto modded, and then he went into the deep state group chat, posted and said, "I'm finished."
Right, we're gonna restore a bit of order here. We're gonna.
Sorry, I'm drunk.
I can tell. Which really works for the game thing we're about to do in a second.
Oh god, all right.
TBU, it's been great having you on. We're gonna send you back to the car to be prepared to take Michael home in a bit. But sorry.
It's been a pleasure. I'll be on next time if you need another person to interview. Don't worry, I'm here.
Thank you very much.
I don't know how I'm going to play Fortnite tonight.
So, all right, okay. I will compose myself very quickly as we move on to the very next part of our show, which is the game part. Michael, I have a very amazing game for you today, and it's the perfect game for you, really, that I have devised. Now, I did tell TBU about this game in advance, so, your designated driver is aware, but this game is as follows, and it's in the spirit of Pride Month, hence why I mentioned Rainbow earlier. I have a list of pub names. I have a list of pub names. Some of them are real pubs, some of them are fake pubs. Now, the thing with these pub names is these are all gay pub names. So your objective, Michael, is to figure out, I'm going to read you the name of the pub, and it's your job to figure out whether or not it's a real gay bar or if it's a fake gay bar name that I've completely made up. That is your objective.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I have a list, and I will just quickly say, for the sake of moderation, I did filter out obviously ones that are quite rude, so don't worry. I am conscious of the fact that this is a community server.
Hold on, Dean. Hold on. The Irish government is unraveling the Defence Force's chief quit over political meddling. The TOSAC is accused of lying to the Irish Senate by its own chief of staff. Ministers were ejected from site station. The Northern Ireland minister has resigned. This is
Oh dear.
that is breaking news.
I will certainly get on the Twitter soon to report that.
Let's hold on. I need to take a piss. I'll be right back.
Oh dear. Well, we're going into a spontaneous break here. We'll be back with Michael in just a moment. But before we do, of course, get onto that part of the show. Oh goodness, I'm still laughing about the Marcus thing earlier. I don't know why. But if you are just quickly joining us, this is Happy Hour, and this is a new format that we're doing. It's a bit of a blend of casual talking, having a bit of a laugh, drinking while we're at it too. Apparently, for real.
I can't.
Oh, you okay there, Michael?
I can't leave my room. I can't leave my room.
Okay, fair enough.
As soon as I got off the chair, that was the worst mistake I ever made.
All right,
let's
well, we'll
continue with the game.
We'll speed through this for your sake at this point, but
Right.
yeah, for our audiences, again, this is Happy Hour. It's an experimental new format. But let's get on with the game, shall we?
Okay.
We'll start off, and again, you just have to guess if this is a real gay bar or if it's a fake name that I've made up. Now, the first one here is the Prowler Lounge.
That can't be a real bar, surely.
Is it real or is it fake?
Fake. It's fake. Absolutely.
You are going
fake,
with fake? You would be correct. That is a fake bar name. And yeah, it's
Brilliant.
it is a Prowler is a real gay shop, but there's nothing called the Prowler Lounge or anything like that. So that is a fake name. Congratulations. The next one here that we have is the Glory.
Gay. Gay. 100% gay. I know what goes on in that.
Okay, well, yeah, it's a gay bar name, but is it real or is it fake?
It's real. It's real. It has to be.
You would be correct. That is real, and it is in East London, apparently. That is a real place.
All right.
All right. Well, number 3 here is the Rabbit Hole.
Yep. Gay. 100%.
The words you're meant to be using here is real or fake. We know that they are gay bars.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay. Real.
You're going with real. I'm very sad to say this,
on my
but
arm.
although they have just been googling it in the chat there, I do have this. The Glory is closed down, but the Glory is an actual bar. That's my point. But the Rabbit Hole is fake. That's actually not a real. That's not a real place. According to the list I have, at least, this is usually the part where the chat brings up a place that is actually called that and corrects me, which I'm inevitably waiting for that moment to happen. But I did get this from ChatGPT, so full disclosure there. Anyway, the next one here is number 4, Leather and Lace.
Hold on. Seth has just said it's a real bar. Wait, hold on. No, that's the
Glory.
Okay.
That's the
Never
real.
mind.
Yes, we already said that one was real.
Never mind.
Right, but
Okay.
Leather and Lace, is that real or is that fake?
Real.
You're going with real? I'm sorry, but that is fake. That's a fake name.
Fuck off.
It's fake. It's down here as fake. Although, again, I wait to be corrected on this by Seth. Next one here is the Horse Meat Disco.
The what?
Horse Meat Disco.
Horse Meat Disco?
Yes.
That's... No. Horse Meat... Fake.
I regret to inform you
No,
that's real.
real.
That's
real.
real,
I
and that's
said
in
real.
No, you said fake, and that's in. It started in Vauxhall, apparently. That place. So
Okay.
the next one is the Violet Shaft.
Oh, come on. Come on. You're not making this easy.
that's
It's got
that's the point.
violent shaft. Okay, just think.
Put some thought into it.
No, it's too. Hold on. It's too.
All the brain power is going into this.
No, I'm trying not to fall asleep. It's got to be fake. It's too ridiculous. It's too ridiculous.
It is indeed fake. That is a fake gay bar. Congratulations.
Do I get a prize after all this?
You get I don't know. We'll give you a harem of twinks. How about that?
Is Sean still in here? No, he isn't. Okay, can the government say if I win this competition, if I am actually being investigated for corruption, can they do that Latin stuff where I don't get prosecuted because I'm too poor?
Noel Proles, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that.
Fair enough. Anyway, the next one here,
indeed.
Michael. The next one we have is the if I quickly get it back up, is Pink Punters.
Real. Oh my god, I feel dizzy.
You're going with real. It is indeed real. It's in Milton Keynes, apparently. That is a real place. Okay, the next one, if you can stay awake for just a bit longer, the next one is the Fuzzy Peach.
Real. I swear I've been somewhere that was called that.
Well, you probably went to an actual Fuzzy Peach, but sadly, the place called the Fuzzy Peach is not real.
What is that supposed to mean?
You can take whatever conclusion you want from that, but anyway,
is group staff hearing this? He's just said something not safe for work.
I mean, I've had to purge like the worst ones from this list, so I mean, we are being as safe as we can be here.
TB, if you're listening to this, I don't think I can play Fortnite. I don't think I can play Fortnite tonight. I'm sorry.
The next one we have here, Michael, is Let's Be Honest. That is the next bar name.
Yes, it is. It has to be.
That is indeed a real place. Yes, it's real.
It is.
And the final one here, the final one is the Dirty Duchess. Is it real or is it fake? Come on, final answer here. You're so close. You're nearly there. Come on.
Huh?
Oh God, Michael, are you? he's going in and out of consciousness.
I need to take another sip. I need to think.
The Dirty Duchess. Is it a real gay bar or is it a fake gay bar?
Wait, hold on. Okay. If I get this, is Sean in here?
He is in here. He's in the audience.
Okay, Sean. Look, someone. I don't know if this is real, but someone from CPS has told me that I'm being investigated for corruption. So, if I get this gay bar right, wait. Sean isn't even in CPS. He can't even do shit. Okay, never mind.
Come on, fight! I've got to press you for an answer here.
What was the bar called?
It's the Dirty Duchess. Is it real or is it fake?
Hold on, someone in here has just messaged me that they're in CPS and they can say, whatever. Okay, So that is the deal. Then I won't be investigated for corruption if I win this challenge. What was the
Right, go on.
what was the bar called again?
For the 50th time, it is the Dirty Duchess.
Uh, okay. I mean, that sounds like something you call a bar.
That's the point of a bar name.
Okay, let's do it. It's a bar.
I'm sorry to tell you, mate. It is a fake bar.
It's a
That's
fake
not a real
bar?
place. It's not a real place, I'm afraid.
Well, guess what, Dean? I just cheated, and it says the Dirty Duchess. It's in Glasgow, so you're wrong.
Can we get a
It's-
fact check here from BBC
It's gonna-
Verify?
it costs people £10 to £20 to get in this bar. And
My God.
It does outdoor seating, live performances, food.
I've been proven
bar,
wrong.
And right
He's
now, it's
beaten
not
the
even that
system.
busy.
He's beaten the
not even
system,
that
everyone.
busy.
He's broken the questions. Well, no, ladies and gentlemen, Michael has just beaten ChatGPT.
Well,
So
well, hold on. Let's see if it's actually a.
well, yeah, is it a gay bar though? If it's not, then it
Hold
doesn't
on.
count.
Hold on, someone's messaging me. Hold on, give me a second.
As TBU is saying, it isn't, so it doesn't count.
Who the fuck is this? You should totally call me for me to be called up right now. To be useful if you're drunk. I can't read. All right.
Right. Well, I got to TBU. I mean, sorry, Michael. Regardless, I'm pretty sure you did get a majority of those correct. I think so. Wasn't really keeping track, but congratulations, regardless.
I want the CPS to stop investigating me because it's wrong. It's bullying, and I've done so much for this, for Northern Art. Yeah, and another thing. Hold on, someone's tagged me. What's this? Get it wrong and you get prosecuted. Well, guess what, Sean? I didn't get it wrong because it's an actual bar.
It is a bar, but it's not a gay bar.
Well, the question, it's a real bar, isn't it?
Well, it's not a real gay bar.
I bet gay people go in that bar anyways.
Well, by that logic. Oh dear.
I'm going to get another sip of this.
Right, well, I'll be honest, but we are coming up to the hour now. Happy hour is coming to an end. Michael, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on this evening.
Wait.
Right, go on.
Stop right there.
Get in your final words.
Gayest person I know that isn't Sean. VI, okay, just said, I go in that bar all the time. So take that, Sean. I almost said a slur. But I remembered Tom Mullenix. He was drunk like me, and he said a slur and he got banned. So I'm not saying that. I'll message Sean instead. But no, that's what he wants. I'm not doing that.
Right, well, Michael, it's been great having you on. My staff are telling me that you need to go off air now in order to sort out the Discord webhook in the BBC News channel in Northern Ireland. So once you've sobered up,
fuck off! I'm not messaging you.
But honestly, Michael, it's been great having you on. Thank you so much. We're now going to send you off to your designated driver to take you home.
TBU, I can play. TBU, I can do Fortnite Festival. Let's do it.
Well, do enjoy your Fortnite, Michael. We're going to send you to the audience now. Ladies and gentlemen, that was MichaelMRothschild, the former Prime Minister and current Governor of Northern Ireland, joining us there for happy hour at the Krakow Club, or Club Krakow, whichever way we're orientating that. Regardless, thank you all for joining me this evening for the inaugural Happy Hour radio show broadcast. We're going to be doing this every Saturday. We'll have a new guest on each time. We're going to generally follow this format. We'll have a current affairs portion, talk a bit about their history, and also try and integrate a thematic game orientated around that person and what they are. And obviously for Michael, it's Pride Month. Of course we're going to do something gay for him. Regardless, though, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Without any further delay, happy hour is now at a close. Drinks are now going to be normal priced going forwards from tomorrow. We're going to be closing up shop now, so I wish you all good night, and I bid you all farewell.